The most dangerous state of mind isn't sadness. It isn't even despair. It's the moment you realize you've reached a total, clinical state of nothing. You're sitting at a funeral, or perhaps watching a sunset that should be breathtaking, and you feel exactly what you felt while eating your breakfast, a flat, gray, static line. You aren't calm. You're a ghost inhabiting your own body. Most people call this burning out. They're wrong. You aren't burnt out. You've subconsciously decided that reality is too expensive to pay for with your emotions, so you've simply stopped paying the bill. We live in a culture that fetishizes stoicism and unbothered energy. We're told that to be ambitious, to be elite, you must be a machine. But here's the trap. You cannot selectively numb your emotions. When you dampen the frequency of your pain, you inadvertently mute the frequency of your joy, your drive, and your intuition. Dissociation is a biological defense mechanism, a security software that crashes the system to prevent a total meltdown. But many of you have been running that crash software for years. You feel fine, but your life has no texture. You're high-achieving, yet you feel like a spectator in your own career. You're in a relationship, but you're just reading lines from a script. The hidden problem isn't that you're broken. It's that you've become so good at surviving that you've forgotten how to inhabit the space you've won. You are winning the game, but you've lost the ability to feel the trophy. There is a subtle power dynamic at play when we dissociate. By not feeling, we believe we are untouchable. If I don't care, I can't be manipulated. If I don't hope, I can't be disappointed. It is the ultimate defensive posture of the ambitious but frustrated. Observe the high performer who works 14 hours a day. They aren't disciplined, they are fleeing. The office is a controlled environment where logic dictates the outcome. But the moment they sit in a quiet room at 11 p.m., the static starts. To avoid the static, they reach for the phone, the drink, or the next project. Your nervous system enters something called dorsal vagal shutdown, the body's freeze response. Your nervous system has determined that the environment, your stress, your trauma, your expectations, is a predator you cannot outrun. So, like a deer in the headlights, you go limp. You're still walking and talking, but the you behind the eyes has retreated into a bunker. Notice how your memory is getting worse? That's the dissociation. To form memories, the brain needs emotional markers. When everything is flat, time begins to bleed together. You wake up, and suddenly 3 years have passed, and you have the psyche of a king, but the internal life of a hollowed-out tree. Here is the truth that most therapists won't tell you because it sounds too harsh. Your numbness is not a lack of feeling. It is an overwhelming amount of feeling that you are refusing to name. Numbness is a crowded room where everyone is screaming at once, so it just sounds like white noise. The myth is that to fix this, you need to find happiness. That is a lie. Happiness is too far away from where you are. To break dissociation, you don't look for peace. You look for friction. You have to be willing to feel the bad things you've been bypassing, the resentment toward your parents, the fear of being a fraud, the grief for the person you thought you'd be by now. The numbness only ends when the cost of staying asleep becomes higher than the pain of waking up. We aren't going to talk about self-care or gratitude journals. We're talking about nervous system recalibration. First, interoceptive exposure. Most of you live from the neck up. You analyze your numbness. You cannot think your way out of a physiological shutdown. Start looking for micro sensations. When you drink water, feel the coldness in your throat. When you walk, feel the impact on your heels. You are signaling to your brain, I am back in the vessel. It is safe to return. Second, the ugly inventory. Dissociation is often caused by an unacceptable emotion. Find the one thing you aren't allowed to feel. Are you actually furious at your partner? Are you bored to tears by your dream job? Write it down. Don't act on it, just acknowledge it. The security software relaxes when the truth is finally seen. Third, controlled complexity. Stop optimizing your life for ease. Ease is the cousin of numbness. Seek out something that requires messy human connection or physical strain. High-intensity interval training or a difficult non-work-related skill. You need to force your heart rate to fluctuate to remind your body that it is allowed to move between states. We spend our lives building fortresses to protect ourselves from the world, only to realize we've locked ourselves in solitary confinement. Emotional numbness is a sophisticated form of cowardice masquerading as strength. It is a refusal to be moved by the tragedy and the beauty of being alive. If you are waiting for a reason to feel again, look at your hands. Look at the time you have left. The void doesn't go away when you achieve more. It goes away when you stop running from the cost of being human. It's time to come home to yourself, even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. Because the hurt is the proof that you're still in the game.